When I saw streamers, and more particularly Caseoh, start playing Granny again, it made me really happy as I've been a long-time fan, and it made me want to make a video on how to beat Granny 2 Extreme Mode consistently without dying. This was more particularly triggered by the fact that it's one of the hardest Granny games to beat, as there's only one way to get upstairs, and there are very little hiding spots on the way to most objects. So this video is mainly going to focus on the safest way to play Granny 2, as in to have the least chance involved in how you're playing, and simply to minimize your chance of death and maximize the amount of skill that is involved in the gameplay. As one has to admit, there is a high level of chance involved in beating Granny. So this video is going to be split up into three main parts. Firstly, the things that you must understand to know how to play the game well in general. Second is going to be the main strategy we're going to employ in this game. And thirdly, I'm going to take a look at each individual preset, how to identify them, and how to beat each of them. Because that is the simplest way to beat Granny 2, is to know where the items are beforehand. But don't worry, there isn't that much memorization actually involved into it. So firstly, the main things you have to understand are as follows. These come very easily, you just have to have them in mind. The first thing is, Granny and Grandpa will never spawn on the floor that you are currently on. This means that you'll be able to predict which location they come from, especially if you keep one of the access ways to the second floor blocked off. Secondly, there are only 3 events or items that can bait both Granny and Grandpa to your location. 1 is killing the spider baby. 2 is going to be the Grandpa's vase, which is on a table on the second floor. 3 is going to be the trap on the floor you spawn on, that is going to be the main baits that we're going to use to get past Granny and Grandpa. The third thing you need to be aware of is the fact that if either of the grandparents gets killed, or you hit them with the stun gun or the shotgun, this will bait the other grandparent. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but it's something that has to be said. This means that if you take out one of the grandparents, expect to have to take out the other one as well. Which is actually quite useful in advancing, because both grandparents will die in quick succession. The fourth thing that you have to keep in mind, and that will be very important for a certain preset that I will not get into right now, but it is audio cues. Audio cues are extremely important in certain situations, and there are only a few that you have to keep in mind, and again, I'll get to those later. The last thing that has to be kept in mind is that it is in fact impossible to guarantee that with pure skill, or with perfect play, that you will beat Granny 2 on the first attempt, simply because of one stupid feature, which is the spider baby ringing the bell. This means that whenever you sneak by Granny, or you move from one hiding spot to the next, she may just turn around randomly and put you out of your misery. So although I've come up with various different ways to avoid this, there is no way to cancel it out completely, so you just have to keep that in mind when playing. There will always be an element of chance involved when you play. So now that we have all of those things in mind, let's get into the strategy overall to beat Granny 2. It's killing the 2 grandparents over and over with a stun gun and throwing the items closer and closer to where they need to be used. Yep, that's literally it. So the main difficulty isn't actually with the game as a whole, because as soon as you get your hands on a stun gun, it's quite simple to move forward steadily, maybe slowly, but steadily, and to nearly guarantee that if you're good enough at the game, you will never get hit by Granny or Grandpa, simply by making sure you never take them both on at the same time and just throw the objects instead of carry them all the way to their target. Just like toss them a little bit closer and you'll just get there eventually. So, knowing this, you may think, okay, so what's actually the issue with beating Granny 2? Well, if you've played the game before, I'm sure you know this. You don't, by default, have the stun gun. There are 5 presets in the game of Granny 2, and each preset has a different location for the stun gun. 4 of these presets have an easily accessible location for the stun gun, where there is nearly no chance elements and you can quite easily beat the game. But one of the presets may cause a little bit of trouble. So now I'm going to go over each preset, how to identify them first, so that if you play in random preset or in the original game, you can easily see, oh, it's preset 1, 2, whatever. And you can, from there, know the location of the stun gun. This is quite a simple process. The only thing you really have to do is start the game by going downstairs. In preset 1, downstairs there is uniquely a special key on the 2 boxes. In preset 1, the stun gun is on the 2nd floor in the master bedroom, in the drawers next to it. So the process is going to be very simple. Bait both grandparents down using the trap, hug the wall right here, they'll just walk straight past you, then you run upstairs. It's at this point that if the spider baby rings the bell, there's nothing you can do about it, and I've racked my brain for a solution to this. I didn't really find one. The best you might be able to do is close the door behind the grandparents, slow down Granny a little bit maybe. But apart from that, as soon as you're up the stairs, there is no more risk. You just book it straight to the master bedroom, pick up the stun gun, and that's it. They're in the palm of your hand, and you can essentially just beat the game from here. The footage that had been playing before I started showing the presets, or the location of the objects in the presets, was in fact just footage of me beating Granny 2 fairly easily without dying. It was on preset 1, but that was completely by chance. Preset 2 has downstairs no objects. Now this is also the case of another preset, so you're going to have to check one more location before knowing exactly where they are. Still, the process is exactly the same. Go back upstairs, bait the grandparents, and hug the corner. However, before hugging the corner, you may want to check this location, the little nook at the edge of the room. If there is no object in this room, this confirms that it is preset 2. So you can run upstairs, and this time go all the way outside and into this weird bunker structure that I still don't understand, and the stun gun's there. At this point you may think, wow, this looks really easy. Where is the issue going to lie? Well, the issue lies with preset 3. I'm going to talk about it at the end of the video because it is complicated. Very complicated. Let's take a look now at preset 4. In preset 4, you go downstairs, find nothing. Oh, this might be preset 2. However, this time, you're going to bait the grandparents and look at the little nook, and this time there's going to be a door lock. This confirms this is preset 4, and instead of going to the outside area, you're going to go all the way upstairs and to this cupboard with the stun gun, and you win. Now, almost finally, we have preset 5. Preset 5 is the only one with an object on the railing here, the duct tape. Now you don't need this unless you're going to do the helicopter escape, but still, you go back upstairs, bait the grandparents, hug the wall, then run upstairs, and in the microwave you'll find the stun gun. Right outside the microwave is the ammo, of course. And you've got it. If you memorize those few things, you should be able to beat presets 1, 2, 4, and 5. Now we move on to the most rage-inducing, horrible preset in the entirety of existence, I believe, without exaggerating, of the Granny franchise. The stun gun is in a box that can be unlocked only with the crowbar. The crowbar is in the worst possible place you could put it, in the shed where the spider baby lives. This means you need to kill the spider baby, or bait it with the meat, and then you can get the crowbar to then go back downstairs and get the stun gun. Now this beckons the question, how do you get past the spider baby? In this preset, you will go downstairs and see a glass fuse on the two boxes. When you see this, you can already go, oh shit, and cross your fingers because it's going to be very hard. You're going to do the same thing as usual, bait the grandparents downstairs, hug the wall, go upstairs. This time, on the way, grab Grandpa's vase. This is going to be your ally for the entire first part of this process. Genuinely, I don't know if it would be possible without it, because it allows you to see where Grandpa and Granny are, and where they're going. You're going to go upstairs, drop the vase near the door to the master bedroom. This is so that you can easily access it without needing to make the floor creak again. Then you're going to swing back and grab the weapon key from this drawer and then hide under this table. In this case, Granny did see me, but this doesn't have to be the case. You can just drop the vase and see in which direction they both go. Now, what you need to do here is cross your fingers and hope that they go back down the hallway, which is what happened in this preset. If Granny doesn't go that way, you can reset her using the key by just making a noise and then hoping she goes that way again. But if Grandpa goes a different direction, you can risk it, but I would advise you to just wait it out until he goes down that hallway and then reset Granny so that she goes down that hallway as well. What you're going to do now is just book it. Book it straight to the master bedroom as soon as you think Granny's far enough away and close the door behind you. Then you're going to drop this vent. This will bait Granny downstairs. Drop the key and then grab the wrench from the chest of drawers and drop it down as well. Once this is done, you're going to grab the vase from right outside the room and drop it right in front of the bed, closing the door and hiding under the bed right after. You wait for Granny and Grandpa to show up, and once they leave, you drop the vase right outside the room and close the door at the same time, right before the vase drops. This maximizes the amount of time you'll have before Granny or Grandpa get downstairs. Once you're downstairs, you can do this in any order, but I would advise you to first grab the wrench and then, unwrench the, I have no clue what you would call this, but just use the wrench in the bunker thingy. Then grab the weapon key, grab the shotgun, the ammo, and wait. What you need to do is sneak by Granny and Grandpa to go back under this bunker. In this case, she saw me, but it doesn't really matter. What I'm going to want to do is kill the spider baby, then hide back into the bunker. And this is where it gets very, very tedious. Remember those sound cues I talked about earlier? Yeah, there are 3 sound cues that you want to look out for. In this case, what we're going to do is hold Granny hostage until you hear one of those sound cues, because that means you know where Grandpa is. The main problem with what you want to do here is you're trying to get the crowbar and then get downstairs. The problem is that there is a floorboard creak that will make this very difficult to get past Granny. You have no clue where she's going to be or when, right? So the best way I found to get around this is to kill Granny right before getting the crowbar, and then sneak past Grandpa to get downstairs and past that floorboard creak without an issue. The problem with that is that you can't possibly know where Grandpa is unless one of those sound cues is heard. So, you wait, and you hold Granny hostage by just making a noise every now and then. And finally, when you hear a sound cue, one of the following: either the door of the basement opening, you know, the door that goes down to the thing, which you should close, by the way, and I did neglect to mention that. In preset 3, it is better to close that door so that you can hear it opening if Grandpa goes downstairs. Secondly, the music, or the radio playing upstairs. You know, the song that is a banger, in my opinion. Or finally, the cameras. If Grandpa's in the security room, he'll activate the cameras, and you know he's all the way up there. In those 3 cases, what you can do is shoot Granny into oblivion and run to get the crowbar, sneak past Grandpa when he goes to check on Granny inside the bunker, run downstairs, and fucking hallelujah, you get the stun gun and you win. Now, I know this method seems very tedious, and you're welcome to find another one, but trust me, I tried many things, and I've been quite good at Granny for a long time, and this is the best way I found to maximize the skill factor and to minimize the luck factor. I've tried many things before, such as opening the door to the master bedroom, you know, the extra access way. I tried doing that so that I could sneak back upstairs, which is an easier location to get by with the floorboard creaks and stuff, and sneak back downstairs. But the problem with that is you never know if Grandpa's going to be walking down the stairs, or if Granny's going to be rushing to get because the spider rang the bell. It's too much of a straight line in the open with too many random factors that it becomes extremely hard to just minimize that luck factor, like I said. So this is the strategy that for me has given the most success, and that seems to be the least luck driven and the most skill driven. Again, you're welcome to find something different. If you find something, you can let me know in the comments. I'll always be open to updating this and to correcting myself. This strategy wasn't something that I spent, months on. It's something that I spent quite a while on, though. And if you don't have any ideas, I would recommend that you stick with this. Oh, and yeah, the spider baby during this whole time is going to try its best to mess you up, because if it just rings when you're trying to bait Granny somewhere, well, goddammit, it's really annoying. If you bait both the grandparents with the vase before dropping and the bell rings, I would just recommend you go back and drop the vase again, just to reset Granny and make sure that she doesn't, go exactly where you're going, which is the big issue with preset 3 and made for my biggest headaches in figuring out a good route. So, just to recap every preset, preset 1 has the special key downstairs, and the stun gun is upstairs at the chest of drawers next to the bed in the master bedroom. Preset 2 has nothing downstairs and nothing in the nook, and has the stun gun outside in the bunker. Preset 3 has the stun gun inside a box that you must access with a crowbar that is in the spider baby's hut, which you should be getting by killing it with the weapon and unwrenching the wrench thing. Preset 4 has nothing downstairs, but it has a door lock in the nook. The stun gun in this preset is in the cupboard near the master bedroom on the second floor. Preset 5 has the duct tape downstairs and has the stun gun in the microwave on the second floor. If you master all of these things and get lucky with Preset 3, then honestly, I don't think if you're decent enough at the game, there should be any issue with you acing Granny 2 on the first attempt every time. This video is mainly dedicated to Caseoh, as he had been complaining about how hard it is to beat Granny 2 without having the stun gun in the microwave. Well, Caseoh, if you're watching this video, you might want to reattempt the Granny Gauntlet 3.0. You know, it could be cool, knowing what you know now. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I might make a tutorial on the other Granny games if you ask for it, although they are a lot easier as you have a larger realm of possibilities, you know, to hiding spots, places to escape to, and overall just more options. So it would be harder to tell you exactly how to beat each of these, but to be perfectly honest, I don't mind making them if you ask for them. So, you know, thanks for watching, and if you have a suggestion for Preset 3, I'm all ears, and I hope Caseoh watches this video.